In the modern world where everyone has the ability to share every moment, idea, and emotion of their life easily through social media platforms, keeping secrets and managing personal information has become increasingly important. This form of sharing is sometimes not just a choice, but has become a habit, an unconscious need to seek connection and attention from others. However, when our lives seem to no longer have clear boundaries about what can be shared, the line between sharing and oversharing becomes a matter that needs careful thought. So, why is oversharing a big problem? And why do we need to learn how to protect what belongs to us? Let's start with a very simple point, but also a reality many people don't think about. Not everything in your life needs to be exposed to the world. In fact, the more you share with others, the easier it is to lose control of yourself. You may get caught up in trends, wanting recognition and attention from others, but this might not bring real benefits to you. On the contrary, it could lead to serious consequences in the long run. When you share too much, you not only lose privacy, but also open the door to unwanted interventions in your personal life. This can decrease your ability to focus on your goals and what you truly want to achieve. Sharing is a natural part of human communication and connection. People need to share to be heard, to feel understood, and to build relationships. However, when sharing becomes a habit, when you feel the need to share everything, even things that aren't really important, that's when you cross the line between sharing and oversharing. You must understand that not all information, not all emotions need to be made public. Protecting your privacy is crucial in maintaining mental stability and protecting the dreams and goals you are pursuing. One of the biggest reasons why oversharing becomes a problem is because you can't control how others perceive and react to what you share. When you expose too much about yourself, your plans, your difficulties, or your inner feelings, you can't know how the listener will feel. They may share empathy and support, but not everyone will. In reality, many people might not understand you, not empathize with you, and may even feel jealous of you. And when you open the door for others to enter your life, you not only invite empathy, but also criticism, judgment, and sometimes unhealthy competition. People who don't truly want you to succeed may take advantage of your openness to sow doubt, anxiety, and even sabotage your plans. Not everyone has good intentions when receiving information from you. Some may just be curious, while others may be trying to make you change your decisions. That's why you need to be very careful before sharing anything. When you share too early about important plans, you can create unnecessary expectations from others, and if those expectations are not met, you may feel disappointed. Furthermore, oversharing can make you feel like you're facing pressure from the outside, losing focus on what you really want to do. Imagine if you're a creator, someone developing a big project or a business idea. You will have many plans, long-term goals, and clear visions for the future. You know that not everyone will understand or even support what you are doing, and when you share too early about your project, you'll face doubt, unwanted advice, and mistaken predictions from people who don't truly understand your goals. These negative feedbacks can make you lose confidence, force you to change direction, or even give up. So why let external factors affect the path you've chosen? In a world where information and communication are so fast, you need to master yourself and what you share. Sharing is necessary, but it should be selective and calculated. Not everything needs to be shared publicly. Some things, plans, and emotions should be kept to yourself. Privacy is not something bad. It is an important part of protecting your mental state and personal strength. Privacy is important to not break. When you keep important things to yourself, you create a safe space to grow, to work without worrying about external influences. You keep your dreams intact, unaffected by unnecessary factors. So how do we know the boundary between sharing and oversharing? Simply ask yourself, does this information really need to be shared? If shared, can I control how others react and receive the information? If the answer is no, you should consider keeping it. Sharing can bring connection, but it can also bring unwanted interference. Therefore, being selective about what you share is very important. Sometimes, keeping some things to yourself is the best way to protect your dreams and plans, allowing them to grow strong and secure. In conclusion, oversharing is not just an issue about information, but about how you control your life. Keeping some things to yourself doesn't mean you're living in isolation, but you are protecting what matters. When you learn how to select information, you not only protect your privacy, but also create a space for creativity, focus, and future success. Always remember, not everything in life needs to be shared, and sometimes silence is the greatest strength. When we talk about keeping secrets, not everyone realizes the importance of it. Most people think that sharing and exposing everything is the way to connect, to assert themselves, and sometimes to seek recognition from others. However, the reality is that keeping secrets is not an act of hiding or avoiding, but rather a smart strategy to protect the most important things in your life. When kept properly, secrets not only help you protect your personal goals and plans, but also create a strong sense of control and confidence in your life. Not everything in life should be exposed to the light, and what you keep for yourself may sometimes be the key to your success. The first reason why you must keep secrets lies in the nature of your personal goals and dreams. What would you think if a founder, an entrepreneur, or a creator shared too much about their plans before everything was finalized? Your plans are not always protected by sharing them with everyone. On the contrary, when you keep them to yourself, you have the chance to develop ideas freely without being influenced by judgment, doubt, or skepticism from people who don't truly understand your vision. Every dream, every plan needs time to form and grow. If you expose them too early, you not only put them in an environment not strong enough to protect them, but also create opportunities for intervention and disruption. By keeping secrets, you protect the power of your initial ideas, allowing them to develop without facing resistance from external factors. Another reason to keep secrets is protection from negative impacts. Life is not always smooth, and sometimes unsolicited comments from others can hurt your spirit. When you share too much about personal struggles or challenges at work, you can easily become the target of judgment or even exploitation. People who don't truly care about you may use what you share to turn the story to their advantage. They may see your weaknesses, and instead of helping, they will strike those points to make you lose confidence or even make you doubt yourself. To avoid falling into this situation, keeping important things to yourself is a way to protect yourself. When you keep secrets about your weaknesses and challenges, you don't allow others the opportunity to judge, criticize, or manipulate. Moreover, keeping secrets helps you maintain independence. In a world full of information and competition, keeping some things to yourself allows you to retain privacy, independence, and space for growth. You don't have to explain why you do this or that. Keeping secrets about your big plans helps you avoid dependency on others' acceptance or criticism. You don't have to worry about explaining every decision you make, nor do you have to fear being diverted or losing sight of your original goals. When you keep secrets, you keep control in your hands and can act freely without being bound by conflicting opinions or external impositions. This not only helps you focus on your work, but also creates decisiveness in every decision you make. Secrets are also a way to protect what you cherish the most. The precious things in your life, such as love, deep relationships, or passions, cannot always be shared with others. Sharing too much about these things can make them vulnerable. For example, when you share too much about your personal relationships, you may make them prone to misunderstanding or even exploitation. Relationships, whether family, friends, or partners, are always sensitive, and keeping them to yourself is sometimes the best way to protect their sustainability and value. Only when you truly understand the value of privacy and know how to protect it can you create strong relationships that are not disturbed by external factors. Finally, keeping secrets can help you maintain an inner strength that no one can take away. When you learn how to control what you share, you will develop a stronger sense of self-awareness. You will no longer need validation or encouragement from others. You will learn to trust yourself and decide your path without worrying about others' reactions. Secrets become a tool to help you protect independence and develop a strong, self-controlled attitude. You don't need to boast about your successes or share your failures with everyone. What you need is to keep a private space to work, to create, and to achieve great things without being influenced by unnecessary factors. Keeping secrets doesn't mean living an isolated life. In fact, it can be a method for living a stronger, more independent life with a clearer purpose. Secrets allow you to maintain protection, control, and the necessary space to build the life you desire. When you learn to keep important things for yourself, you not only protect your plans, dreams, and personal goals, but also create a safe environment for growth and maturity. Remember, not everything in life needs to be shared. Secrets are the protection for the things you are building, the protection for what you cherish the most. So, don't hesitate to keep secrets when necessary, and use them as a tool to achieve your goals and build the life you've always dreamed of. Your plan, whether it's a long-term goal or a new idea, is what will lead you to success. However, it's important to know how to protect and develop your plan wisely, especially in the early stages when your idea is still incomplete and vulnerable. When you first start with a plan, whether it's a personal project or an initiative at work, you're often excited to share it with those around you. However, this sharing can sometimes be a big mistake. When you're not fully prepared and haven't developed the plan to maturity, sharing too early can lead to unforeseen consequences, even diminishing the potential of the plan you're pursuing. First, a plan, like any project, needs time to develop. When you share too early, you not only make yourself susceptible to others' opinions, but you also create unnecessary pressure. People around you, whether friends, colleagues, or even family, may not understand the true importance or the real goals behind your plan. They might offer unrealistic advice, raise doubts, or even criticize, making you question yourself and the plan you're working on. A plan that's not yet strong and solid is easily disrupted by external factors. Criticism or doubt can break your initial confidence, causing you to lose focus and not feel confident in the path you've chosen. So, if you're not ready, don't rush to share your plan. In reality, many of us, when we have a new idea or goal, fall into the temptation of sharing it immediately. We seek recognition, encouragement, or praise from those around us. However, sharing too early not only gives away control over your plan, but also easily drags you into comparisons with others. When your plan is still in development, this sharing creates expectations from others. They start measuring your progress, making predictions, and offering comments you can't avoid. This can lead to stress and a lack of freedom, as you always feel you have to prove everything to others. But in reality, success doesn't come from proving things to others, but from focusing on the work and progressing seriously. Moreover, sharing your plan too early can provoke resistance from those who don't understand your goals. They might disagree with your approach, not trust your ability, or even doubt the feasibility of your plan. In such cases, their objections not only make you lose confidence in yourself, but also force you to alter the plan to please others. But remember, your plan is yours. If you don't maintain confidence in yourself and your plan, you'll easily be influenced by external factors and give up on the goal you've set. Sharing too early can make you easily swayed by others' doubts, weakening the initial strength of your ideas and plans. Another important reason to keep your plan to yourself is that you need space to develop and adjust it. Plans are not always perfect from the start. Sometimes you'll need to change, adjust, and improve it over time. If you share too early, you'll face opposition every time there's a change. People around you, whether colleagues or friends, may not understand why you're changing direction, and they may not support you when you need to adapt. When you keep your plan to yourself, you don't have to worry about others' comments or judgments. You can adjust your plan freely, work in your own way, without being distracted by external forces. Furthermore, when you develop your plan in silence, you can also more easily recognize weaknesses in it, without the pressure to explain everything to others. In addition, keeping your plan to yourself helps protect your creativity and uniqueness in your work. When you share your plan too early, you may encounter people who take your idea and make it their own. These people, whether intentionally or unintentionally, will take your creativity and may develop your plan in a direction you never intended. By keeping the plan to yourself and not sharing too much, you ensure that your idea won't be copied or influenced by others. This helps you retain uniqueness and maintain complete control over your plan, allowing it to develop in the way you want. Finally, keeping your plan secret until it's strong enough to be revealed is not only a form of protection, but also a smart strategy to maintain your focus. When you don't share too early, you won't be under pressure to explain or present your plan to anyone. You can work uninterrupted without being distracted by external factors. Moreover, when you are fully prepared and the plan is ready, revealing it will be more natural, and you will be confident in sharing with the world what you've built. At that point, you're not just sharing an initial idea, but a complete, tested plan that is ready for success. Your plan is a valuable asset, and you need to know how to protect it. Sharing too early only creates unnecessary risks, making your plan vulnerable and less valuable. Therefore, remember, when you have a plan, a clear goal, take time to develop it quietly, keep it secret until you're completely ready. Success comes from solid steps, and those steps can only be taken when you keep your plan in your hands, undistracted and unaffected by anyone else. Doubt, whether it comes from yourself or from others around you, is one of the powerful factors that can break your confidence and determination. When you pursue a goal, especially when you're at the early stage of a plan or project, doubt can strike unexpectedly. It can come from self-doubt, from those who don't understand your vision, or from temporary failures you encounter on your journey. However, it is important to learn how to face and overcome that doubt rather than letting it control your actions and decisions. When faced with doubt, remember that it's a natural part of the development process, and if you know how to control and deal with it, it can become a powerful driving force that propels you forward instead of hindering you. Doubt is not the enemy, but a challenge you need to overcome to prove yourself and achieve your goals. Everyone has moments of doubt, but how you face and handle it is what will determine your success. When you start a project or pursue a dream, you're often full of excitement and enthusiasm. However, as you move further along, reality may make you feel uncertain. Questions like, am I capable? Can I do this? Or, am I on the wrong path? Start to appear in your mind. These are thoughts that almost everyone will face on their journey. In such moments, you may feel lost, unsure of where to go next. But at this point, you need to ask yourself, why did I start? And what does my goal mean to me? When you clarify the reason you're pursuing the goal, you'll become stronger in overcoming doubt. Don't let negative questions lead you astray. Instead, use that doubt as motivation to find solutions and stay committed to the path you've chosen. Doubt from others is also a challenge you will face on the road to achieving your goals. Not everyone will understand your vision. Everyone has different experiences and life perspectives, so not everyone will agree with or support what you do. Questions like, why are you doing this? Or, will this approach work? May come from close people. If not handled correctly, these questions can cause insecurity and make you doubt yourself. However, you need to remember that doubt from others doesn't always reflect the true value of your plan or decision. It may simply be ignorance, a lack of information, or even jealousy. Don't let these unconstructive questions make you waver. Instead, use them as an opportunity to clarify your goals, explain why you're doing what you're doing, and find a more convincing way to communicate with those around you. One thing to remember is that doubt often arises when you don't have enough confidence in yourself and your plan. If you believe in the value of what you're doing, you won't easily be swayed by others' opinions. You need to build a strong sense of self-confidence from within. This doesn't mean you won't face difficulties or failures. On the contrary, it means you won't let temporary setbacks or failures make you doubt your abilities. Remember that confidence is not a permanent state, but a skill that needs to be developed. When you learn to trust yourself, you will be able to face doubt calmly and strategically. When doubt starts to attack, look back at your achievements, no matter how small. These successes are proof that you're on the right track. Sometimes, just looking back at what you've accomplished so far can help you continue on your journey. Don't forget that even small steps are signs of progress. What matters is not letting doubt cloud your vision of these successes. Every step, every challenge you overcome is proof of your strength and abilities. Use those small successes as motivation to overcome the bigger doubts. Another way to combat doubt is to create a positive environment around you. You can't change everyone in your life, but you can choose to approach and work with positive people, those who support and encourage you. Surround yourself with people who always believe in your abilities, people who never judge you based on the difficulties you face, but instead look for ways to help you overcome obstacles. These people will help you maintain confidence and determination, even when doubt begins to appear. To fight doubt, you also need to learn how to accept failure. Every failure is a valuable lesson, and failure does not mean the end. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. If you can learn from each failure, you will become stronger and less likely to be defeated by doubt. Remember, the most successful people in life are not those who have never failed, but those who know how to get back up after each fall and continue their journey. Fighting doubt is an ongoing process, and the key is to always persist and trust in your abilities. You can't let doubt stop you. Treat it as a challenge to develop resilience and patience. When you learn how to overcome doubt, not only will you become stronger, but you will also become someone who can lead their own life. Jealousy is a very unpleasant emotion, and sometimes it can make you feel confused, hurt, or even lonely. It is a natural emotion that anyone can experience in life, but the important thing is to recognize and handle it wisely, especially when you are pursuing a goal, creating a project, or achieving success at work. If not handled properly, jealousy can become a strong obstacle, reducing your motivation and spirit. Even more frightening, jealousy can come not only from people you don't know, but also from those close to you, people you think will support you in all circumstances. These people can be friends, colleagues, or even family members. They may not say it out loud, but their actions and attitudes may reflect jealousy, which can create invisible barriers affecting your progress. Therefore, recognizing and dealing with jealousy is an essential skill that anyone who wants to succeed needs to learn. When you start achieving success, whether big or small, you will notice something that many people don't realize. Not everyone will be happy for you. Some people around you may feel threatened by your progress. They may not show it outwardly, but the changes in their attitude or actions will signal that jealousy is simmering inside them. You'll notice the difference in how they treat you. They may start reducing their support, no longer encouraging you as they did before, or even trying to make you feel inferior so they feel superior. Phrases like, "It's just luck," or "You're really good, but I'm sure I couldn't do that," are clear signs of jealousy, even though they might be disguised as modesty or concern. Facing jealousy from others is not easy, and it can hurt. But remember, jealousy is not something personal. It is a natural human response when people feel insecure or when they see someone else moving forward while they feel stuck. These people may not realize they are hindering you, but their actions can make you feel isolated, underestimated, or even betrayed. In such moments, instead of letting their jealousy stop you, you need to learn to view the situation from a different perspective. And instead of looking at the situation from a different perspective, don't let the emotions of others influence your actions. Keep moving forward and stay focused on your goal. If you allow others' jealousy to affect your decisions, you will lose your freedom and confidence in your actions. One effective strategy for dealing with jealousy from others is to maintain a humble attitude and avoid boasting. In fact, showing humility in your success will help reduce negative reactions from those around you. When you achieve something big, instead of focusing solely on bragging or seeking attention, try to share your success in a gentle and polite way. Remember, success is a long journey, not a destination. What you achieve today may not be the final peak, so there's no need to be too self-satisfied or boastful about it. When you maintain a humble attitude, you not only minimize jealousy, but also inspire others, helping them feel motivated rather than inferior. However, the most important thing is to learn to recognize jealousy and not let it affect your progress. Jealousy is an inevitable factor in any success journey, but you will be the one to decide whether it becomes an obstacle or a driving force. When you realize that jealousy is not your issue but theirs, you'll find it easier to overcome. Those who are jealous of you may not understand or empathize with what you're doing, but that doesn't mean you should stop. Remember, those who are jealous don't determine your success. You do. You may not be able to change their attitude, but you can certainly decide how you handle their jealousy. Another thing to keep in mind is that jealousy from others may not always be outwardly expressed. Sometimes it can simply be a feeling of dissatisfaction that they harbor internally and don't want to reveal. However, if you feel you're facing jealousy from others, instead of reacting negatively, view it as an opportunity for personal growth. See their jealousy as a sign that you're on the right track. If you haven't achieved something significant, no one would feel the need to be jealous of you. So when you notice someone being jealous, it's a sign that you're making progress, and you have every right to be proud of that. Finally, remember that jealousy is an inevitable part of life. Sometimes people can't help but feel jealous when they see others achieving what they long for. However, you can't let this jealousy take away your opportunities. Treat it as motivation to continue developing, continue achieving new goals, and most importantly, Don't let it make you give up on your dreams. Jealousy can only hinder you if you let it. Instead of fearing it, use jealousy as motivation to strive harder and prove that your success is the result of perseverance and relentless effort. When you start a project or pursue a dream, one of the most important decisions you will face is choosing whom to share your plan with. Sharing your goals, plans, or ideas with others can provide encouragement, support, and even valuable advice. However, not everyone you know deserves to hear about your big plans. The choice of who you share your plan with is a crucial factor that can directly affect your ability to succeed. Sharing with the wrong people can make you lose confidence, create doubt, or even hinder your journey. Therefore, identifying who can genuinely help you develop and protect your plan is an essential factor you cannot ignore. The first reason why choosing who to share your plan with is important is that not everyone understands the importance and nature of your plan. Some people, whether friends or family, may not perceive your plan the way you expect. They may view your goal as unrealistic, impractical, or too risky. These people might not intentionally harm you, but their lack of understanding or experience may lead them to offer wrong advice or even show disapproval of your decisions. If you share your plan with those who don't understand its significance, you may receive negative comments or criticism, which can make you confused and doubt your direction. In such times, you might lose focus, overlook important goals, or even abandon your plan. Therefore, one of the most important factors when sharing a plan is ensuring that the person you choose to share with truly understands your goal and has enough experience to offer sound advice. This could be someone with experience in the field you're pursuing, or simply someone who consistently supports and believes in your abilities. They can not only help you view the plan objectively, but also offer new ideas and creative solutions to help you progress further. Moreover, the person you share with needs to be a good listener, empathetic, and encouraging during difficult times. Only when you find someone who truly understands you and the importance of your plan can you fully leverage their support effectively. Furthermore, you need to understand that sharing your plan doesn't always lead to support. Some people may have good intentions, but may not be able to view your plan positively. They may give advice or feedback that you find unsuitable. Especially in the early stages of a plan, when things are unclear or incomplete, you can easily be swayed by negative comments. Some people may not understand why you chose a challenging path or why you picked an unconventional solution. If you share too early with these people, their ignorance and negativity can make you lose confidence and doubt your abilities. Moreover, when you share your plan, you need to be aware that there are people who don't genuinely want you to succeed. While you may think that your close friends or those you trust will always support you, the truth is they won't always do so. Some people may feel envious of your progress or feel you are achieving something they cannot. They may not show it outwardly, but this jealousy can affect how they treat you. Sometimes they will try to offer unreasonable advice or even deliberately create doubt in you to undermine your confidence. These people may not intend to harm you, but their lack of support and subtle opposition can hinder your development. To avoid this situation, you need to be very careful when choosing whom to share your plan with. Don't share your plan with people who only talk about the risks or criticize without offering solutions. Only those who genuinely have an open heart and sincere concern for you deserve to hear about your plan. These are the people who will help you grow, not just because they trust you, but because they can see the potential in your plan. Look for people who can encourage you when you face difficulties, offer creative ideas, and especially those who never question your ability to succeed. When choosing someone to share your plan with, you should also consider how they can contribute to the development of the plan. A friend, colleague, or mentor can help not only by listening and providing advice, but they can also play a role as a strategic partner, contributing to the success of the plan. Those with experience in the field you are pursuing, or those who have gone through similar challenges, will have valuable insights and can provide practical and effective advice. They can help you avoid unnecessary mistakes and point out opportunities you may not have noticed. However, sharing your plan with others also requires consideration of timing. You don't always have to share from the start. In many cases, keeping the plan to yourself and only sharing when it has developed clearly is the best approach. When you share your plan when everything is still unclear, you may face unconstructive feedback. Instead, let your plan mature and only share it when you feel it's strong enough and ready to be shared with people who can help you. Finally, remember that your plan is an important part of your life. and only those who truly respect and believe in it deserve to know. Choose who you share your plan with wisely, not only to receive support, but also to ensure that they won't distract you or make you doubt your decisions. The people you share your plan with will have a significant influence on your journey, so choose wisely. And always remember that sincere support and understanding are the keys to helping you move further. Each of us has personal battles that no one else can fully understand. These battles are not always visible on the outside. There are struggles that only you can feel, challenges you face daily that no one else knows about. It could be a battle with self-doubt, failure, or even feelings of fatigue and discouragement when everything seems to be going in the wrong direction. These battles are not easy, but they are an integral part of everyone's growth and development. Personal battles are where you discover your true strength, where you find your ability to overcome challenges and grow in the most powerful way. Personal battles often start from within, from thoughts and emotions that you can't share with anyone. It could be a persistent worry, a fear about the future, or simply feeling inadequate to achieve what you desire. These struggles are not something you can tell everyone, because not everyone can fully understand them. Everyone has their own concerns, and not everyone is ready to listen to help you overcome them. That's why you must learn to fight alone in difficult times when everything seems to be against you. This is part of personal growth, and these battles will help you become a stronger version of yourself. It's important to recognize that every personal battle is an essential part of your journey. When you face challenges and difficulties, don't see it as something negative or a failure. In fact, each battle you go through is an opportunity for you to learn and grow. The difficult times, when you feel defeated, are when you discover your inner strength. These are the moments when you can fully develop your patience, persistence, and determination. Personal battles help you build confidence and strength, not only to face challenges in life, but also to keep moving forward despite difficulties. Loneliness in personal battles is something many people face. When you encounter difficulties, you might feel like you're left alone, with no one understanding what you're going through. There are times you feel helpless and can't find a way out, but this is when you need to trust yourself. These battles are yours, and you must fight them on your own. You may seek support from others, but in the end, you're the one who decides your fate. A personal battle is where you learn to face your weaknesses, accept failures, and rise above them. It is the process of asserting yourself and building a solid foundation for your future goals. An important part of personal battles is learning not to share everything with others. There are things, emotions, that you cannot share even with your closest loved ones. Not everyone can understand what you're going through, and not everyone can help you overcome those difficulties. In those moments, you need to learn how to be resilient and maintain faith in yourself. Don't let loneliness or the doubts of others make you feel weak. It's in those times when you face difficulties alone that you will grow stronger. When you know how to fight through tough times without needing others' help, you'll be able to stand strong against any challenge in life. The key is not to let your personal battle make you forget your goals and the reasons you started. Difficult moments may make you want to give up, but remember that you're not alone on this journey. Everyone has their own battles, and you're not the only one facing difficulties. Don't let these challenges make you lose sight of what you want to achieve. Instead, see each battle as a step forward in your long journey. You won't reach your destination if you give up at the first sign of difficulty. Use these challenges as motivation to keep striving and move closer to your goals. Personal battles are also where you learn to embrace change. Sometimes battles are not clear challenges, but changes in your life. It could be a change in your work, your relationships, or even in yourself. This change may make you feel insecure and difficult, but it's also part of the growing process. When you learn to face change, you'll realize that these changes aren't something to fear, but an opportunity for you to grow. Learn to embrace change as an essential part of your journey. When facing a personal battle, one important thing is not to compare yourself with others. You might see others achieving great success and feel like you're falling behind, but that doesn't mean you're failing. Everyone has their own path, and your personal battles are unique. Remember, not everyone can understand what you're going through, and not everyone can follow your journey. Don't compare yourself to others, just focus on your own journey and progress every day. Finally, personal battles are a part of the journey you must go through yourself. They're not something negative, but an opportunity for you to discover yourself, learn, and grow. When you fight through these challenges, you'll become a stronger version of yourself. These battles will help you develop perseverance, persistence, and confidence, qualities necessary for success in life. Remember, every battle you win is a solid step forward on your path, and these challenges are valuable lessons you'll carry with you throughout your life. Each of us has personal battles that no one else can fully understand. These battles are not always visible on the outside. There are struggles that only you can feel, challenges you face daily that no one else knows about. It could be a battle with self-doubt, failure, or even feelings of fatigue and discouragement when everything seems to be going in the wrong direction. These battles are not easy, but they are an integral part of everyone's growth and development. Personal battles are where you discover your true strength, where you find your ability to overcome challenges and grow in the most powerful way. Personal battles often start from within, from thoughts and emotions that you can't share with anyone. It could be a persistent worry, a fear about the future, or simply feeling inadequate to achieve what you desire. These struggles are not something you can tell everyone because not everyone can fully understand them. Everyone has their own concerns, and not everyone is ready to listen to help you overcome them. That's why you must learn to fight alone in difficult times, when everything seems to be against you. This is part of personal growth, and these battles will help you become a stronger version of yourself. It's important to recognize that every personal battle is an essential part of your journey. When you face challenges and difficulties, don't see it as something negative or a failure. In fact, each battle you go through is an opportunity for you to learn and grow. The difficult times, when you feel defeated, or when you discover your inner strength, these are the moments when you can fully develop your patience, persistence, and determination. Personal battles help you build confidence and strength, not only to face challenges in life, but also to keep moving forward despite difficulties. Loneliness in personal battles is something many people face. When you encounter difficulties, you might feel like you're left alone, with no one understanding what you're going through. There are times you feel helpless and can't find a way out. But this is when you need to trust yourself. These battles are yours, and you must fight them on your own. You may seek support from others, but in the end, you're the one who decides your fate. A personal battle is where you learn to face your weaknesses, accept failures, and rise above them. It is the process of asserting yourself and building a solid foundation for your future goals. An important part of personal battles is learning not to share everything with others. There are things, emotions, that you cannot share even with your closest loved ones. Not everyone can understand what you're going through, and not everyone can help you overcome those difficulties. In those moments, you need to learn how to be resilient and maintain faith in yourself. Don't let loneliness or the doubts of others make you feel weak. It's in those times when you face difficulties alone that you will grow stronger. When you know how to fight through tough times without needing others' help, you'll be able to stand strong against any challenge in life. The key is not to let your personal battle make you forget your goals and the reasons you started. Difficult moments may make you want to give up, but remember that you're not alone on this journey. Everyone has their own battles, and you're not the only one facing difficulties. Don't let these challenges make you lose sight of what you want to achieve. Instead, see each battle as a step forward in your long journey. You won't reach your destination if you give up at the first sign of difficulty. Use these challenges as motivation to keep striving and move closer to your goals. Personal battles are also where you learn to embrace change. Sometimes, battles are not clear challenges, but changes in your life. It could be a change in your work, your relationships, or even in yourself. This change may make you feel insecure and difficult, but it's also part of the growing process. When you learn to face change, you'll realize that these changes aren't something to fear, but an opportunity for you to grow. Learn to embrace change as an essential part of your journey. When facing a personal battle, one important thing is not to compare yourself with others. You might see others achieving great success and feel like you're falling behind. But that doesn't mean you're failing. Everyone has their own path, and your personal battles are unique. Remember, not everyone can understand what you're going through, and not everyone can follow your journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Just focus on your own journey and progress every day. Finally, personal battles are a part of the journey you must go through yourself. They're not something negative, but an opportunity for you to discover yourself, learn, and grow. When you fight through these challenges, you'll become a stronger version of yourself. These battles will help you develop perseverance, persistence, and confidence, qualities necessary for success in life. Remember, every battle you win is a solid step forward on your path, and these challenges are valuable lessons you'll carry with you throughout your life. Finances are always a sensitive issue, especially when you begin to achieve success and make significant progress in both your personal and professional life. While money isn't everything in life, it undoubtedly plays an important role in helping you realize your goals and dreams. However, finances are a topic many people prefer not to discuss openly. This could be due to the fear of being judged, the concern of being exploited, or simply feeling uncomfortable sharing financial information. Therefore, keeping your finances private is something important that you need to be aware of and do correctly. Your finances, whether good or not as desired, are very personal and do not need to be shared with everyone. When you start to achieve success at work, your finances easily become exposed, and one of the biggest mistakes is flaunting your wealth. You may have a nice car, a large house, or even take luxurious trips. While you have the right to show off your accomplishments, oversharing your finances creates an opportunity for others to exploit you. Some people may see your wealth as an opportunity to take a part of it, not through fairness, but through exploitation. If you share too much about your finances, you will become a target for those with bad intentions who will take advantage of you in subtle and covert ways. However, keeping your finances private isn't just about protecting yourself from exploitation, it's also about protecting your own mental stability. Your finances can change quickly, and you can't control all the factors that affect your income. Oversharing about your finances can create unnecessary pressure, especially when you're going through a financial tough time. If you expose your financial struggles, you'll face judgment and possibly encounter people who are only looking for opportunities to give unrealistic advice or even criticize you. This won't help improve your finances, but will make you feel worse, creating unnecessary insecurity. An important reason to keep your finances private is for the freedom and control it brings. When you keep your personal finances private, you have the freedom to decide how to spend, invest, and not worry about others' expectations. Sharing too much about your finances may lead to impositions from those around you on how you should spend or invest. Unwanted advice on how to manage your money can distract you and make you prone to making wrong decisions. When your finances are kept private, you can maintain independence and proactivity in managing your finances. Additionally, keeping your finances private helps you maintain healthy relationships with those around you. If you share too much about your finances, especially about high incomes or valuable assets, can create envy and jealousy from those who don't have the same. They may not express their jealousy openly, but their attitude and behavior will change. Some may no longer view you the same, instead seeing you as a comparison target, increasing stress in the relationship. Friendships, love, and professional relationships are all easily affected by financial factors, and oversharing finances can cause misunderstandings or unnecessary conflicts. To avoid this, keeping your finances private is a way to maintain clean relationships and mutual respect. Moreover, keeping your finances private helps avoid unfair criticism or judgment from others. If you share too much about your finances, you'll face questions about how you earn, spend, and even unwanted stories about your wealth or poverty. This can make you uncomfortable, as no one wants to be judged solely by their finances. Sharing too much can also create pressure because you feel like you always have to prove that you haven't done anything wrong in managing money. These concerns can reduce your freedom in making decisions and make you feel like you're always facing judgment from others. Another reason to keep your finances private is to stay focused on your goals. When you share too much about your finances, you easily become distracted by others' reactions and expectations. This can lead you to get caught in a cycle of comparison and competition instead of focusing on developing yourself and achieving your goals. Finances are just a tool to achieve goals, not the final purpose. If you focus too much on sharing financial success and material wealth, you may neglect the spiritual values and long-term goals that you truly want to achieve. Keeping your finances private helps you stay focused on what truly matters and creates space for sustainable growth. Lastly, remember that finances are a part of life, but they are not everything. Keeping your finances private doesn't mean hiding or concealing them. It's simply a way to protect yourself, your relationships, and maintain independence in your decisions. Finances are an important tool to help you achieve your personal goals, but let them be a part of your life, not the deciding factor in your happiness or self-worth. Always maintain balance in life and remember that no matter how important finances are, peace of mind, freedom, and spiritual values are what lead you to a truly happy and meaningful life. Good deeds and charity are wonderful aspects of life, but sometimes they can be misunderstood or misused. In an increasingly complex society, where recognition and praise sometimes become the primary goal of good actions, it's easy to lose sight of the true essence of charity. A good deed, genuine charity, should not be done to impress others or to receive praise, but should come from kindness, empathy, and the desire to help those around you without expecting anything in return. However, in an era where everything seems to be evaluated and measured by community recognition, sometimes performing good deeds can be influenced by personal motives rather than from a pure sense of goodness. Therefore, understanding the motivation behind charitable actions and ensuring that they remain pure is of utmost importance. While charity is a very admirable act, we need to recognize that not every good deed needs to be showcased. The beauty of charity does not lie in how much you do, but in the intention behind it. When you help others, the important thing is that you do it because of kindness, because of the need of the recipient, not to seek attention or recognition. If your charitable actions are done just to be praised or to prove that you are a good person, you lose its true value. Genuine charity doesn't need to be judged or flaunted. What matters is the change it brings, the difference it makes in someone else's life, and how it makes you a better person, not in the eyes of others, but in your own eyes. Sharing your good deeds, charity actions on social media or in conversations doesn't always lead to positive outcomes. While encouraging others to engage in charity is a good thing, boasting about what you've done can diminish the value of the action. When you share too much about your good deeds, you may create unnecessary comparisons between you and others. This can make others feel insecure or feel that they have to do more to be recognized. True charity is not about building your personal image, but creating real change in the community. Charity is not to prove you're better than anyone, but to help those who need you, those who are in a more difficult situation than you. Therefore, keeping these good deeds to yourself is a way to preserve the purity and humanity in every action you take. One important reason to keep your charitable actions to yourself is to maintain the purity of your intentions. When you perform a good deed without seeking recognition or praise, you maintain purity within yourself. You do it for the people you help because you feel you can bring something good to society, not because you want recognition. This helps you maintain empathy and love for others, rather than using them as tools to satisfy your ego. If you do charity for recognition, you may lose the real connection with the person you're helping. Genuine charity is unconditional sharing, helping without expecting anything in return. However, this doesn't mean you can't share your charitable actions if you feel it could inspire others. Sharing your story of good deeds can help create a community of mutual help and encourage others to participate in meaningful activities. But you must always remember that sharing is not the primary goal. The important goal is to create real change, to provide meaningful help to those in need. When you share your good deeds, do it with the mindset that you're inspiring others, not seeking attention. The change you create is not measured by the number of likes or comments, but by the change it brings to the lives of those you help. Another important thing to remember is that charity is not just about material help. Charity can come in many forms, from small gestures like helping someone carry something, listening when someone needs to talk, giving your time and effort, to larger contributions like donating money or participating in community projects. All have great value, and you don't have to prove your worth through grand gestures. Sometimes, small gestures that come from the heart have a much deeper impact than widely recognized actions. Always remember that charity is not just about giving material things, but also about giving your care, attention, and time. True charity is sacrifice and empathy. When you help others, you not only help them overcome hardships, but you also help yourself become a better person. This act helps you recognize the value of sharing, teaching you that life is not just about receiving, but also about giving. Charity helps you develop kindness, open your heart, and become more responsible to the community. Charity gives you a sense of fulfillment when you see you've made a difference in someone else's life, and that's what brings true joy. Charity also helps you see different aspects of life, allowing you to feel the difficulties and struggles that others face. It helps you appreciate what you have and realize that life is not only about material values, but also about deeper spiritual values. Charity is not just an action of helping others, but also a journey of enriching yourself in terms of character and soul. Finally, true charity is when you help without expecting anything in return. It's unconditional giving, sharing without boasting. Genuine charity is not a tool to build your personal image or attract attention. It's an act from the heart, a way for you to contribute to a better society without expecting rewards. When you perform charity, remember that the most important thing is not what you receive in return, but what you have given and how it changes the lives of others. In a world where recognition and personal image are more valued than ever, doing good for others can sometimes turn into a competition for praise and validation. We cannot deny that charity or helping others can bring us a sense of pride, a confirmation of our worth. However, it's essential to understand that when you boast about what you do for others, you not only diminish the value of that action, but also make the recipient feel uncomfortable. True charity is not meant to be flaunted or done to impress. In fact, the best action is when you do it without anyone knowing. It's unconditional giving without expectations, and especially without the need to prove yourself to anyone. In today's society, we are strongly influenced by the media and social networks. Celebrities and influencers often share their charitable actions as an integral part of their personal image. However, publicizing acts of helping others doesn't always have a positive impact. Sometimes it creates an unintended competitive environment where each good deed is no longer performed from sincere kindness, but from a desire for recognition and praise. True charity should come from the heart, from a genuine wish to help others, not to prove that you're better. The truth is, when you flaunt what you do for others, you inadvertently diminish the value and purity of the act. Sharing too much turns charity into a tool for personal image building rather than a way to create real change in the community. We cannot deny that in today's world, sharing charitable actions can bring attention and psychological satisfaction. But it's important to ask yourself, what's your purpose? If you genuinely want to help others, do you need to prove that to everyone? Helping others, no matter how small the act, always holds meaning and value. But when you boast about it, you might lose the purity of the action. The true beauty of charity is not in the quantity or scale of the act, but in the heart and the intention behind it. Don't do good for recognition. Do it for the joy of helping others, because you believe that action can make the world a better place. Furthermore, when you boast about what you've done for others, you might unintentionally make others feel uncomfortable or even inferior. When you share stories about those you've helped, whether at a party or on social media, you might make listeners feel inadequate or that they haven't done enough. Sometimes the people you help don't want that help to become something to show off to others. You might be doing something good, but if your goal is to be praised, the action has lost its true value. Don't make others feel like they're your audience for your generosity. Remember, charity isn't about making you feel good about yourself, but about making a real difference in the lives of others. Additionally, boasting about your good deeds can hurt those who genuinely need help but cannot access such support. When you focus too much on sharing your charitable actions, you may unintentionally create a divide between those who receive help and those who do not. People who need help but cannot share their stories publicly may feel overlooked or forgotten. Oversharing your acts of kindness might make them feel undeserving or unimportant. You must remember that not everyone in society can share their stories publicly, and this makes your help even more necessary. Help without making it a commodity for praise. This also relates to learning how to help others without making them feel like objects of pity. True charity is support without expectations or personal gain. You don't have to make others feel small or deprived to show your goodness. When you help others without boasting, you respect them and help them maintain their dignity. True charity is when you help without expecting recognition or repayment. Don't let your kindness become a tool to build your image or to have others glorify you. Help because you genuinely want to change their lives, not because you want to change how others perceive you. Lastly, remember that doing good is part of human nature. Helping others is not something you need to prove to others, but a natural part of living in a community. We do good not because we want to be praised, but because we understand that kindness and compassion are values that everyone should preserve and promote. The sense of satisfaction from helping others doesn't come from compliments, but from the realization that you did the right thing and contributed to making a difference. So keep doing good, but don't do it to impress or receive something in return. True charity doesn't need recognition because it comes from genuine goodness and the desire to bring positive change to the world. Know your next plan is the next step in your journey. Every step in this life can open up new opportunities, challenges, and possibilities you may not have imagined. However, for this reason, your next plan also needs to be viewed with care and precision. It's not just a goal you want to achieve, but a large strategy where you will decide how to approach, overcome obstacles, and turn your goal into reality. But one important thing to understand is that your next plan is not something to show off or share with everyone. Don't rush to reveal your next steps before you are truly ready. When you share your plan too early, you not only face interference from those around you, but may also lose the element of secrecy and the strategic preparation needed. Sharing your plan too early can create unnecessary things like expectations from others or even unwanted reactions. When you reveal your plan, you may encounter unnecessary advice, criticism, or even doubt from those who don't fully understand the importance and strategy behind your plan. People may not see the big picture you're painting. They may not understand why you've chosen a challenging path. They may feel doubtful, and sometimes those words could cause you to lose confidence in the plan you've invested so much in. This doesn't mean you should keep everything to yourself and avoid help. However, when the plan is not yet clear and you're not fully ready, sharing too soon can disrupt your progress. Remember that your next plan is yours. It's a strategy you've developed based on your understanding of yourself, the market, and the goals you want to achieve. Sharing too soon can put you in a position of facing judgment and pressure from others. You don't need to explain to anyone why you came up with your plan, because only you truly understand the goal, motivation, and methods you'll use to achieve it. Don't let outside doubt divert you. Instead, focus on refining your plan, building a clear strategy, and sticking to your decision. Just like when starting a new project, your next plan needs time to mature. If you're too quick to share everything before things stabilize, you won't have enough time to adjust, refine, and respond to emerging situations. A good plan needs not only clear goals, but also flexibility to adapt to unexpected changes. When you reveal too soon, you might lose this flexibility because you've shared too much information before you fully control it. That's why, before sharing your plan, make sure it's clear enough and you're prepared to handle feedback and outside influences. The secrecy of keeping your plan to yourself will give you peace of mind and freedom to develop. When you don't have to worry about explaining your plan to others, you can focus entirely on implementing it. This not only helps you work effectively, but also creates a creative space where you can experiment, adjust, and perfect the plan without interference or judgment from outsiders. Sometimes, silence and secrecy are the most powerful tools to move forward. Not everyone around you will have the same vision for your plan. Some may not understand why you've chosen this path, and some may not support you. Therefore, stay confident in your plan and execute it in the way you believe is right. Your next plan is not just a goal you want to achieve, but the journey you will go through to achieve it. Throughout this process, there will be many changes and challenges that you cannot foresee. The important thing is not to let those changes distract you or cause you to abandon your plan. Sometimes, the road is not always straight, and you may have to adjust your plan to fit reality. These changes are part of the learning and growing process, and they are not signs of failure, but opportunities to improve further. Therefore, instead of focusing on sharing your plan, focus on implementing and adjusting it with each step. Another important thing is that when you keep your plan secret, you can avoid unnecessary pressure and expectations from others. People may set expectations for you, for your plan, and for how you will execute it. Sometimes these expectations aren't what you want because they may not reflect what you're actually trying to achieve. When you keep your plan secret, you won't have to face these expectations. You can execute your plan without being influenced by comparison or judgment from others. This will help you maintain confidence and determination in your journey. Your next plan is an opportunity for you to showcase yourself and prove your abilities. But remember, not everything needs to be made public from the start. Keeping your plan secret until you're ready will help you avoid distractions, protect creativity, and create the most favorable environment for development. When everything is ready and you are prepared, that's when you can share and let your success speak for itself. Timing is crucial in executing your plan, and don't let haste cause you to lack patience. When you're well prepared, you'll overcome all challenges and achieve your goals confidently and steadfastly. Remember, your next plan is an essential part of your journey. Don't share it too soon, and don't let outside factors influence your decisions. Be patient, and when everything is ready, you'll be able to share your plan with the world, and your success will be a testament to your preparation and relentless effort.